So in this video, I want to get through some seed starting since summer's right around the corner and the garden is going through some changes. I want to have some veggies that are ready and set to go to be planted in the garden. So I'm going to start them separately in their individual containers. So when time is right, they'll be transplanted into the garden. So I have some into 3 or 4 different categories, some from Plant Good Seed, some from Survival Garden Seed, some I purchased at the dollar store, and some that I lost the brand of, but I still have them anyway, so I narrowed it down to some I want to plant. So some of these are going to be direct sown when their area has been worked on and ready for them to be planted in, and most of them are going to be started by seed in today's video. So let me go ahead and give you a run through of what I am interested in growing in my garden this upcoming summer growing season. So from Plant Good Seed Company, I have the common oats, I have the pink beauty radish, and I have the butter crunch lettuce. And from Survival Garden Seeds, I have the Lola Rosa lettuce, champion radish, California wonder pepper, heirloom rainbow mixed tomato seed packet right here, some coriandrum sativum cilantro, I hope I pronounced that right, some some dill. I have some viroflay spinach, some little finger carrots, some imperator carrots, and some black beauty zucchini. And so some of the ones I have from the dollar store are the cayenne long slim red hot peppers, the straight 8 cucumber, giant Nobel spinach, Paris Island lettuce, and the dark green zucchini summer squash right there. And now from the little handful that I have is the golden California wonder sweet bell pepper, catmint for when I willy, orange habanero, purple beauty bell pepper, which is one of the ones I'm more excited for, white scallop squashed, sun sugar hybrid tomato, which I think this is from Burpee, red grano onion, which is from Andrew Seed Company, I believe, red roselle, which I believe is from Plant Good Seed, if I'm not mistaken, the red roselle, and the Imperial Star artichoke. So like all seed varieties, I do desire to grow. Some of them I won't be able to grow today, so I narrowed it down to the ones I want to grow in today's video. And the ones that I want to grow today are the following: the orange habanero pepper, purple beauty bell pepper, sun sugar hybrid tomato, red roselle, the cayenne long hot pepper, the straight 8 cucumber, Paris Island lettuce, dill, cilantro, spinach, zucchini, the Lola Rosa lettuce, and their butter crunch lettuce as well. So these are all the ones I pinpointed that I really want to grow like today in today's video. These are the most important ones. So while I plant them, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you all about the certain varieties I'm growing and which ones I'm more excited about and which ones I'm growing because my family eats more of. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So I have my growing mix right next to me, and I have my little pots next to me as well. I love recycling little pots. So the first one's gonna be the purple beauty bell pepper. This one's I'm really excited about. It's one of my favorite peppers out in those world. I haven't grown it yet because I haven't had success growing peppers by seed at all. So I'm determined to have them in my garden this growing season. So I have 3 different containers that I'll be planting them in. So hopefully we have 3 different plants to enjoy in the garden. So like bell peppers in general, they like to be planted in direct sunlight. Once you plant the seeds, make sure that their soil is constantly moist, and when they grow, make sure that they are constantly protected and you're staying vigilant for pests and diseases, since peppers here in South Florida tend to get attacked by all different types of diseases, so make sure you have an eye out for that. So coming up next is going to be the red roselle. I really want to grow red roselle. Although I have the cranberry hibiscus and the regular tropical hibiscus, the ones my family uses a lot is the red roselle, which is the ones we actually use for tea. So I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 containers of this since that's how much seeds I believe I have. So let me go ahead and do that. They prefer to stay in humid areas, constant moisture, and they love the sun. It's going to be the cilantro from Survival Garden Seeds. my family is Hispanic, and in most of our dishes we use cilantro instead of parsley. So it's important that I have a section dedicated to cilantro because it's better organic than store-bought. So when it comes to cilantro, I recommend soaking the seeds or cracking the seeds, whatever works best for you. Soaking the seeds is preferred for at least 2 to 3 hours for that outer shell to soften up. Or you can break the seeds to release the inner seeds that are inside, which I'll be doing today, because cilantro seeds have this very, very hard outer shell that takes a long time for it to actually open up for the seeds to grow. So I'm gonna go ahead and break them slightly so it could be easier and it could speed up the germination process. So they prefer moisture, direct sun, and they need to have well-draining soil because they do not like to sit in water. So next up is gonna be all my different types of greens or lettuces, which is the Paris Island, Lola Rosa, Butter Crunch, and my spinach. So I wanna get this through because these are what we grow in the shade, because if we put them in direct sunlight during our summer temperatures, it will promote them and encourage them to go to bolting. Although I do love to save some seeds, I want to enjoy the lettuce and greens, which is what my family loves to eat, especially the freshness of it. So they require to be planted in the shade here in South Florida, but it can vary in where you're located in the United States. And so let me go ahead and get this planted right now. So next up is gonna be dill. So I'm gonna make 2 pots out of this one. So dill requires full sun. They also require to be planted in an area that is well draining, but that can keep moisture, because although they do handle high levels of drought, they do like to have constant moisture here in the state of Florida in particular. So let me go ahead and plant that. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and go through and plant my hot peppers, which is the cayenne as well as the orange habanero. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant these up. I think I'm gonna do 2 pots of the cayenne and 2 pots of the orange. So let me go ahead and do that. So next up is gonna be my sun sugar. I have tons and tons of Roma tomatoes that I'll be planting in the garden this year because that's what my family uses the most. This is an orange cherry type tomato, and I'm excited to grow these because this is my first year growing them, and I'm super excited to have for the first time some orange tomatoes in the garden. Full sun loving plants, they can handle some moisture, but keep in mind that does open some opportunities for some type of pests and diseases. So I'd recommend placing it in an area with full sun and doing proper spacing so you can prevent any types of disease or pests introduced into your tomatoes. So finally, I'm gonna go ahead and do the Imperial Star artichoke, which I'm gonna do 2 pots of these to see how they grow in my garden for the first time this year. So it's gonna be like a trial plant. So from what I know of, they're full sun loving plants. They can handle some levels of drought as well. And so I'm gonna try to grow these, although my family doesn't eat artichokes. I'm gonna see who does and just grow them because I really love them. And if not, if I can't find anybody that tends to eat artichokes, I'll use them as a pollinator in the garden because they do bloom these gorgeous, bright colored neon purple flowers, which I'm excited about. So let me go ahead and do that. I went through and I planted all the seeds I had in mind except for the zucchini and cucumbers, because those I do prefer direct sowing them in the ground when they're ready. And so I went through tomatoes, artichokes, greens, roselle, different types of herbs, and I'm super excited to grow these in my summer garden. So most of the seeds that I'm planting today are trial plants. These are plants that I'll be trialing in my garden. These are not the heavy hitters because I don't know how they perform in South Florida. So most of these only usually have 2 pots, or if they're really well known and I'm really excited about them, they have 4. But it's definitely a trial to see which ones work best in my southern area. And all of these are mainly trial plants, so we'll go ahead and film a different part or a different series on planting the rest of these. So I am super excited to have these planted. So now a few tips on what you should do when you recently plant your seeds is: number 1, place them in an area that receives direct sun, because heat promotes germination way more quicker unless you have seeds that prefer the shade. So make sure you accommodate the sunlight requirements based on the seeds. So if they are full sun loving plants, pretty sure enough that they want to be placed in direct sunlight with their seeds are planted. So make sure you go ahead and accommodate that, which all of my seeds today prefer to be in direct sunlight right now. So that's what I'll be doing. Number 2 is make sure that the soil does not constantly dry out, because water and moisture promotes the seeds to germinate and it softens out that outer shell. So make sure you stay on watering as well as accommodating their sunlight. And I did mix in a biostarter fertilizer in here, so once they start developing roots, etc., they will have a good storage of nutrition in the soil from the get-go. Once again, all the media links for survival garden seeds and plant good seed will be left in the description box below. Make sure you go follow them and make sure you go purchase some of their seeds because they do have some amazing stuff in store for you to grow in your proper garden. So that's going to be it for this video. May God bless you and your entire family, and never forget to grow roots, agriculturist. Bye, y'all.